My name is Mammadzade. I am 17 years old and I do K1 kickboxing and boxing in the amateur level. My father was a boxer himself, and I would say he was arguably very successful in his career as an amateur boxer, because at the time we didn't have professional levels. My uncle is a special forces veteran, and just everybody in my family, like, they all have done something. Sport in Azerbaijan is very common, and almost everybody does something. Judo, wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, whatever it is, everybody has to do some sort of sport once in their life. And I got introduced to it because I used to live here, and I saw, and I thought it looked cool. So when I was 7 years old, I asked my dad to be here, and here I am. It is a family thing, but I am very serious about doing something in the sport because it's a family thing that I'm very ambitious. When I was 13 or 14, one time I was at a friend's birthday party and I thought I was strong, and we were doing some wrestling because we don't want anyone to get hurt with my friend. And my friend just absolutely ragdolled me, and he was doing jiu-jitsu. He was a world champion. And just something from there just clicked on that I have to do something. And a couple years I was on his level, even though I don't do jiu-jitsu. But yeah, to be strong. I've been practicing a lot of sports, to be honest, but I've never really took it as serious as I have with kickboxing. But with kickboxing, I'll say a little less than a handful of years. In terms of the techniques that you learn in, that you have to focus on, kickboxing and boxing are fundamentally different. So is a lot of other sports, but it's mainly based on what you have, like the cards that you've been given. Are you tall? Are you short? Do you have more muscle mass? Are you more fat? Are you more skinny? In my case, my family has a lot of strong punchers, and from a young age, my dad has not allowed me to punch anyone. And to be honest, I never knew how to punch anyone before coming to the sport. And so my main focus is to just utilize power punching and utilize my range, because I'm a very tall individual myself, and to just hit, not get hit, just like every other boxer. Depending on where you live, I think you can take yourself very far in every sport. If you live in the USA or UK, in Europe, even if you're not a world champion, you fight in a local level, you'll be making a decent and a very good amount of money, especially for the first 2 years, specifically in boxing. In kickboxing, if you live in Asia, where kickboxing is more popular, you can also make a very decent living. However, in countries in the Eastern Europe, Azerbaijan, Russia, it's going to be very hard for you to make a living. That's why a lot of people here take on some sort of side gig in order to make sure that if this doesn't work out, or maybe they're just doing it for the glory. We need to promote the idea of manhood. We need to promote the idea of that being strong is necessary. You know, just because the government provides us with law enforcement, and you know, the police, if somebody tries to threaten you and the police have guns, you know, it's not, you shouldn't, the fact that you shouldn't be worried is not, like, you're supposed to be always prepared, no matter what happens. And the art of fighting is a form of independence, that you're always going to be prepared no matter what happens. And as a man, it's your duty to protect your family. As a man, it's your duty to protect yourself. God gave you these hands, and you know, sometimes you're just supposed to use them. Combat sports, in order for everybody to have a fair shot, is that professional organizations within the country are very limited. Is that everybody's competing at amateur world level now, Jim? And if they're lucky, if they manage to get a sponsorship, and thus not, then they can make enough money. It's very tough here in the country, in Azerbaijan, where it's mostly glory, like self-glory, the feeling of victory, that you will win, that's pushing everybody here. because nobody here really relies on the outcome of getting a lot of money. At the end of the day, kickboxing doesn't have a lot of money. Boxing does, but not kickboxing. So our coaches, the country should promote more professional organizations. And if the country can't promote professional organizations, I believe they should be more accepting of international professional organizations like, One Championship, UFC, WBA, WBC, these types of organizations to be able to enter in and out of the country. But so far, I'm going to say that the country is doing well for itself, well, at the rate it's going. I believe that sooner or later, combat sports will be more relevant in the country in a few years. But that's my opinion. I believe that in order to do that, for sure we're going to have to need some very big prizes in the amateur league. However, I believe that if we have just more professional organizations in general, other than the amateur leagues, and if we have more advertisement and like the feeling of like being like a man, like a manhood, right? If we have more promotion of that, more men and sometimes even women might be able to enjoy these promotions themselves. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the people who watch that bring in the money. If nobody watches combat sports, then the combat sports won't have any money. So we need to promote manhood as it should already be, because nowadays we have a lot of fads, and a lot of people, right? They come to the gym, they come to kickboxing, they come to boxing. They come there just so that they can seem strong, they can look strong in front of the girls, and they can, they can flex their muscles or whatever. I can say, hey, I'm a fighter. Hey, my son is a fighter, And that's the thing, is that they don't have anything to show for it. They think it's enough. And so we need to promote the idea that in order to be a man, you have to have something to show for it. Because people all talk. Media is promotion. I mean, how can you... It's very tough to say that media is not important for promotion. Okay, let me just give you an example. Vladimir Klitschko, like the Klitschko brothers, the most technical fighters that you can see, like during like the 90s to 2000s, post Tyson era basically. Those guys were very technical. They were like robots. They just go in, one hit, second hit, and the guy would just be knocked out because they were both clean shots. But the thing is that they weren't very interesting to watch, and the promotion wasn't as good. They were Russian fighters, and even though they probably made a good amount of money, the country itself must have not been very developed in terms of media like the US is. There wasn't enough promotion, there wasn't enough media to capture all of these moments, to build enough hype. Because the thing that makes hype is the media, is the promotion, is the advertisements. And that's what brings in the money. And once there's money, that's when the sport can really grow. That's when more people have more to compete, have more at stake. Especially once they're like sure that this isn't a side gig anymore, it's their full-time job. That's when the sport really begins to develop. I'm here to show everyone that I'm the best. Eat, train, pray, sleep, and repeat. I think that's the way of every combat sportsman in the whole planet. That's all there is to it. My name is Mammadzade. I'm 17 years old. I'm a K1 kickboxer and a boxer at the amateur level. Love, play, sport. Thank you for watching.